Ladies and gentlemen of the SMB Nation community, Harry Brailsford again with I'm going to call it an on-the-road podcast with Jeff Connally from CMIT Solutions in Austin, Texas. So, Jeff, good morning, and how you doing?
We're doing great, Harry. Welcome and Happy New Year.
Well, thank you. And I got to ask up front, are any of your favorite teams still in contention in the NFL playoffs? Seattle's bid was retired.
Well, I'm loving the playoff this weekend. For those of us in Austin and particularly in the Westlake area, we've got two quarterbacks, Nick Foles with the Eagles and Drew Brees went to the same high school 10 years apart. So first ever, two Super Bowl MVPs square off from the same high school in a playoff game. So we're excited about that. That's got us all jazzed up here in Austin. Two great guys. Hate to see anybody lose, but somebody's going to. And I'm actually pulling for Drew and the Saints. So
yeah,
as Drew
I
years,
like that.
And as you know, I go to New Orleans every year with one of my sons for one of the big games. So.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, hey, it's been a little while since we've had a chat with you in the SMB Nation community, so let's take just a moment to reintroduce yourself to the SMB Nation community. So, serial number, rank, duties, location.
Okay, so I took over CMIT, actually acquired the company back in 2010 from the founder, Georgia Jones, who had the great mentoring of Mike Maples of Microsoft fame. And I joined that community just as we were leaning heavy in. Actually, I joined the company earlier as we launched our managed services offering. So we really are, right to our bone marrow, a technology company focused on what largely our industry and your community has been focused on for the last decade and a half or so. And we've grown to one of the largest footprints in North America with 223 separate offices, all tethered together through the use of the franchise model. So these are independently owned offices that enjoy all the benefits of business ownership, but they get the generalized, shared resources of marketing, product development, strategy, and the ability to tackle darn near any size client with multiple locations, headquarters and satellite offices. So we do a great job of that. Just one last self-promotion. We just were named among franchisors, which we don't think of ourselves in the franchise terminology so much because through and through we are an IT company. But the franchise ranks, actually Entrepreneur Magazine ranks every year based upon pure metrics, year-over-year growth, and a lot of other key stats. We're now 91st out of 3,200 franchisors in North America, and we're very proud of that. Our rank moved up. We've been number one in category, which is IT support, IT services, for quite some time, over 6 years. But this year we moved into double digits we were in the triple digit category. So we're in some pretty elite company of people that use the business model. But overall, it's a wonderful collective group of folks coast to coast, and we're in Canada now too as well. But thanks.
Yeah, and before I tell a funny story about some interaction we had over a decade ago, I want to ask, with the franchise model, just for my own edification in the audience, do you have to have a general counsel on your staff? I mean, are you regulated at the state level, and every state's different? How?
It's like a private company. It's a private company, but we act as a public company in terms of disclosures, audited financials. We do have a special franchise attorney because once a year we have to refile with the Federal Trade Commission. And a number of states. Washington, which Seattle is located, is one of those registration states. We happen to have the good fortune of having an in-house counsel. We hired her for her HR expertise, but she's been super helpful in negotiating contracts with our alliance partners and to the benefit of all in our collective here, if you will, the CMIT system.
Well, I'll tell you, so the biggest and bestest show of all for SMB Nation back in the day was the 2008 Fall Conference. We talk about it frequently. You were front and center right when people walked in the door. Would you mind telling the audience you had a double wide booth? Tell us what you did.
Oh, Harry, thank you. That is such a fond memory. So we were just kind of getting our sea legs and growing, and we loved what pulling everybody together in the community in and around Seattle. And that was first year, I think, off campus, off the Microsoft campus. And I asked, because I thought, it's kind of dull. Everybody's giving away thumb drives and tech stuff, and it's really neat because we're all pretty geeky, but I'd like to do something different, give away an all-expense-paid trip to Iceland for the winner and a significant other or spouse, whoever they, and I said, I'm thinking about bringing in somebody that we can call Miss Iceland, Miss SMB Iceland, so we didn't get in trouble with the pageant people. And sure enough, Janine was hilarious, and anyway, amazing attraction into our booth. I remember Bob Godgart in particular had a very funny interaction, but that worked. That was a great deal of fun.
Well, that was fun, and I think she, if I recall, was on the University of Washington volleyball team or something. She was quite tall, and then the individual, memory serves me right, who won, Joshua Lieberman out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, I believe, was the lucky prize winner.
He did. And by the way, he's I didn't know about Josh, his personal hobby, but photography. So we got some amazing shots of Iceland that he took and gifted us back with, and it was just a great experience. It's a lot of fun. We're going to do some more fun stuff like that.
Cool. Well, the reason we're really here to talk is you have been in the news in the past several days, past week or so, about an act. You've been acquired. So take it from the top. What's the story?
Yeah. So fundamentally, no change. The management team, the headquarters, remains here in Austin, by gosh, Texas, America. I have the continuing responsibility to, keep my hand on the helm as CEO. But Craftsman Capital, out of Dallas, who is a very unique private equity company, they're very, very unique in what they do, has a number of other technology company investments that you'll hear more about over time, but they thoughtfully had no franchise background, but they respected all that we've done in the MSP space, and they fully understand the need the market has for cybersecurity protection, and our already great progress in that area and the longer-term plan in that area. So they convinced me to sell my stock and stay, which is kind of neat to have.
Yeah, because that's always the question. Are you going to ride your bike off into the sunset? But I'm hearing that you still have this rodeo in you.
Yeah. I can be quoted on this, and I've told a lot of people, but retirement's for wimps. People that retire are only because they're doing something they don't like. And we love it. I love what I'm doing here, and the impact I have within our community at CMIT is enormously rewarding. So, I'll probably have some more time to ride bikes with you, Harry, if I can convince you to spend a little more time in Central Texas. But we've got a lot to do, and the market opportunity in front of us is massive. So watch this space. We got
and I just want to clarify something, because one of the hats I wear is I'm kind of a scratch analyst in this sector, and I looked over some coverage you received, and I've seen the conversation kind of veer over into your 200 plus MSP practice entity that was acquired, almost lending it to you being a master MSP, and that's not my perception of you. My perception is that you are indeed a franchise organization. You're acquired by private equity, so maybe you can kind of help clarify for us. I didn't see it so much as an MSP consulting practice being acquired as a franchise entity being acquired.
Right. So you're right. The franchise business model is extraordinarily powerful for everyone involved. There's terrific alignment each office owner is an entrepreneur. They focus on their market, and we help build their brand along with the CMIT Solutions brand in their place where they're doing business. And their P&L individually looks dramatically different than a standalone regional MSP because our folks do not have the same cost burden.
Correct.
While there's a small royalty paid on their revenues, it is far less than the in-house marketing and the in-house product development, in-house alliance partner management requirements that any independent sole MSP has. So the P&L looks much different, but all the autonomy of within broad constraints. We don't want someone damaging the brand, so that's it. But it's really a collective of independent business owners, and it's been a very exciting business model. It's one where you have the brilliance of now over 200 offices contributing to what we need to do next. And so we've got such an amazing connection to the end user market, and we're very focused on any business 500 employees and smaller is frankly our target.
I would agree.
We have a keen insight in its immediate with this many folks touching that market in the ways that MSPs do every day. So
Yep.
That's
Last
it.
question, and I'm thinking that not only can people find CMIT Solutions and search, but you have an annual conference in the spring for your franchisee owners. I realize that's not a public conference, but when and where is your annual conference?
Great. Yeah, it's at the tail end of, I think this year it starts on April the 29th. Our owners have driven it from a 1 or 2 day event. It's now pretty much a week-long event. All of our alliance partners are in, a lot going on. The theme this year, we're going to Atlantic City. We bounce around because we're national. We go east, west, central. Last year we were on the West Coast. This year, the East Coast. And the theme this year is kind of roaring 20s. We get into a little of that for our banquet and recognition event. So we're going to drop back into the 20s, and because we see the same opportunities today that were there for folks in some of the heydays of giant growth in certain industries. And so it's Build Your Empire is our theme this year. And most people may know this, but I didn't, that the game of Monopoly, actually all the streets are the streets that are there in Atlantic City. I didn't know that. So.
Yep. I would offer, no, I get the symbolism. Now that said, I am a little bit of a contrarian. Jeff, one of my side things, if you will, is fintech, financial technology. And Brian Livingston, the famous Windows Secrets author of the 90s, who brought me into writing. I did some Windows Secrets books over on the server side. Right. He lives here.
I remember that.
So he's now Mr. Fintech, has a new book out, Muscular Portfolios. You know, he reinvented himself, and smart guy. And so all I would say is you fill out your curriculum for the conference, you know, and you're a smart guy. I'm sure you're thinking about it. The 1920s. It's a good metaphor, but boy, howdy, you might have a conversation about hedge strategies and counter-cyclical strategies.
Right. And we all know what happened in the 30s. So yeah, actually we do. It's all about, I believe, my entire career has been spent in IT support of SMB back in my IBM days. So whether it's good times or bad, our clients need us desperately, and they need us probably more during a downturn. So we'll see what the economy brings us. One of the things that we're doing, so it's a twofold strategy: build on what we've already done, lean heavily into security and cyber threat
good
protection.
Idea.
But at the same time, with the new resources from Craftsman Capital, you're going to see us on a bit of an acquisition leaning strategy. And by that I mean locally. At a local level, our franchise partners, we've done a number of acquisitions where there's a lot of folks in the SMB community and the rest of the MSP that have built fine businesses and are looking for a way to cash out, maybe stay
Absolutely.
on. And so we're going to give some of those people that kind of an opportunity to join up, or they can frankly just join as a new office and benefit from some of the leverage that comes from being part of such a great collaborative group that my franchise partners all make up. So thank you for asking that question, but that's our theme.
Yeah. No, good. And I'll try to see if I can find myself in the general vicinity and drop by and hit that buffet line again. But
hey, we got a spot for it. If you need a temporary office in Austin, come on down. We're happy to have you.
There you go. All right. Well, with that said, keep the light on down there, and we'll talk to you. Let's check in quarterly. I mean, now that you've got some things going on, I'm going to make a mental note to check in with you on Q2. And boy, howdy, that's about the time your annual event comes up. But thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Harry. It's always a joy.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.